Hey guys, welcome back to Honkai Impact. Anime guy reacts to Honkai Impact videos. So the shots of the game. So this is part 7 of the series. So last episode we learned who's Fuhua and what that's a new person for you guys, and today we're gonna see how explain who she is and what's going on, and then get some lore also between the episodes, like all those episodes, and it'll make you understand the story even more. So subscribe if you like this series so far, and there's only like few more left of these shorts, and this series will be coming to an end, so make sure you subscribe, like all this good stuff, and this episode will make you understand the game better, so it's gonna be interesting. So make sure you watch this, and that's all I have to subscribe for part 8, and make sure you leave a like on this one. Say another one. So now guys, you're gonna see what she is like, what's going on here. This one, right?
Yeah.
Greetings, captains. Welcome back to the
Yeah.
These things.
This is the last one.
Should we do it too in the next part?
Yeah, we'll complete this and then we'll do the next part after this. Okay, guys? So yeah.
Yeah.
Honkai
Yeah, 'cause
operation.
Subscribe, this will be the last one.
These don't take, like, they're not like shorts. They take so much, like
Yeah.
9 minutes.
Center. As time flows forward,
So this is the understanding
Fuhua
one.
has shaped the history under different names and identities. The 8th Herrscher, who calls herself Fuhua, has now appeared before us. But who is she really? What has Fuhua undergone in 50,000 years? Let's take
So she's from the previous era, okay? That's why she's 50,000 years old.
Oh,
Okay.
oh.
closer
And I almost got her. Oh my God.
And that guy too.
look at the long and solitary life of a warrior. Fuhua was born in the lower district of a previous era metropolis. She
Isn't
grew
it
up practicing
5,000
martial arts
years
after
like
her
this?
father and lived a disciplined life. Due to her humble origin, plain appearance, and straight reserved personality,
Nerd.
Fuhua was a loner when she
Okay, nerd.
studied in Sapphire. Only until she saved a classmate during a zombie attack did she gain the acceptance of those around
Zombie
her
boy.
and learn to warm up to people.
You know what zombie that is?
But just when she was beginning to
You
envision a
know,
bright
you
future,
know.
fate forced her on a path that she had never imagined. The Honkai Impact tore what she knew apart. The city was burned to the ground, and her family and friends
Why
were
you gotta
killed.
make the screen
Fuhua
gray?
fled and was saved by Moss Squad 5
You
leader.
don't want to see that. Okay.
In a world where one could not survive
See
alone,
what?
Fuhua could no longer afford to dream, and was only left with the mission to eliminate
Yeah.
Honkai.
You
Fuhua
have to
joined
play
Moth as a
Lies
soldier,
to
but she was
dream.
still too
Moth
weak
is
to
the
save
previous,
That's why I
like, they have the organization
Billions of lives
previous era.
perished. Her savior,
Billions.
Yumiko, died in the hands of her comrades
Christ.
after transforming into a Herrscher. She
That's
only
a
had the
different
passion to
Yumiko, okay?
defeat Honkai, not the power to
Okay.
realize it.
Not the one that
Oh,
you know.
it's again,
Overwhelming enemy
It's
was running
again
away
doing
the
that
best thing
thing.
she could do. Fuhua did not accept her fate. Burning with a grudge against her fate, Fuhua was reborn after challenging death. In an experiment that was deemed lethal,
Yeah, it's still there.
Igor miraculously fused with
The
her
black.
and transformed her into a mantis. And the
So
user
in the previous era, now we have Valkyries, right? Back then they had
Yeah.
mantises. So what is this? They fused Honkai Beast DNA with human DNA, which they become with powers. That's what happens here. So she became the user of
scientists.
yeah. So
That's
yeah.
just crazy, bro. Scientists be acting weird now.
So key of
weird.
domination, and these are the divine keys that she uses. I'll tell you what those are
Double
later.
one.
Nation,
Yeah.
as well as Fun Huang down. The Mantis brought home one victory after another, until the final Herrscher descended. Humanity stood no
So
chance
there'll be 14 Hershers in every, like, they did the last era, they lost to the final one.
in the decisive war. The few that survived
That's what they're
forfeited
saying.
their civilization. They put themselves into cryogenic sleep so they could start anew when the
There's-
time arrives. And
At least
So this
we're
is
not
where
in
the previous era
Honkai
ended.
world where we all have to become
Yeah.
after
zombies
10
and never live
millennia
a
of
life.
sleep, Fuhua was awakened as the executor of Project Ember, whose mission was to guide the
Ember
people of the
fire.
new era in developing their civilization and resisting Honkai. Fuhua was not alone in this. She was surrounded by lifelong friends
This
who
character
genuinely
reminds
cared
me of
for
a
her and
character in
wanted her to take
Genshin.
back her life.
I mean, I don't play Genshin,
Yet
but
she
yeah.
lost all of them in a judgment class Honkai disaster.
So judgment class Honkai disaster is what is, there are different classes for different Honkai beasts. So Honkai beast from that class is very powerful. So that's where they lost.
Mantis, she is immortal.
Okay.
As the user
So
of
her power is what makes her DNA that's fused to it is immortal, so she doesn't die.
Yeah.
This one,
Wow.
Down,
with this
her memories
power,
last
her
forever.
her memories
In
were like
Fuhua's near
never lost.
everlasting life, as fleeting as her interpersonal encounters may be, the
Hey,
inevitable
yo.
parting that
Hey,
ensued
yo.
would still scar her for life. With her last friend gone,
Man, I wish
Fuhua
I had that
closed off her
power.
heart. She secluded herself from the earthly world, carried on the mission of eliminating Honkai like the programmed robot. No mercy for the
serious?
corrupted became her sole code of conduct. She only cared for the mortals' corruption, not their lives. In 1458 AD, Fuhua founded the School of Taishuan at Mount Taishuan, Shenzhou. It was to safeguard Shenzhou and cleanse the world of Honkai. The School of Taishuan, which only had 7 disciples, dominated the martial arts world with
Martial
the Age
arts.
of Taishuan, a secret sword.
See, you
fighting
remember
style-
from the previous thing, she was using the edge of touch one, right? She was using a move. She was doing that thing and clashed with the Phoenix. That's the thing that they're talking about.
that could channel Honkai energy.
okay.
Yeah.
To the ordinary people, Fuhua was as untouchable as a celestial, and hence was named Phoenix. In 1475
Now we know why
on
she's
the
Phoenix.
Kipchak steppes in Central Asia,
Yeah, because she is the
Fuhua
phoenix of
single-handedly
Phoenix, the
trounced
phoenix
Chickasaws
of a
elite
phoenix.
forces and their strongest Valkyrie, Kalin Kaslana.
She did
This
like
battle
solo,
also led
like
Fuhua's
50 million
first encounter
people.
with Otto Apocalypse, her lifelong
You know that
rival.
dude.
Oh.
In the next year, for reasons unknown, her 7 disciples mutinied and razed Mount Taishuan to the ground. Fuhua was grievously injured, having lost her full power and immortality. Fuhua temporarily withdrew from the world. Since she could not protect Shenzhou in a powerless state, she made a pact with Otto. Fuhua joined Schicksal and worked for Otto. In
Yeah.
return, Otto pledged to watch over Shenzhou in her stead. In 2000 AD, the second Honkai eruption brought total destruction. It was later
it's the
known as the
second
most
wave of
devastating
Corona.
Honkai disaster of the current era. In a few days, multiple major cities were destroyed, resulting in millions of casualties.
Yeah, this is definitely
This
Corona.
war, Schicksal and the
game.
anti-entropy fought back in full force. Fuhua was dispatched to subdue the Herschers as a Schicksal Valkyrie. In Fuhua's long
Schicksal.
life, she has never ceased rethinking what fighting means, so she may one day slay all Herschers and eliminate Honkai. By then, she had found the way of defeating a Herrscher. With unparalleled combat experience and Feng Huang Dao's power, Fuhua overwhelmed the pseudo-Herrscher of fire and temporarily suppressed the second Herrscher who possessed 6 Herrscher cores.
Woohoo, 6
Yet even with
scores.
such nigh immeasurable power, she could not defeat the second Herrscher, who was under the protection of the will of Honkai.
So what is will of Honkai?
Well,
That's what controls the Honkai. That's the god of Honkai, okay?
At the critical moment,
That's-
but who's
Fuhua
the
yeah.
number one
sacrificed Feng Huang
Herrscher?
Down and her
That's not
memories
number one
to
Herrscher.
activate Feng Huang
That is
Dao's
Herrscher's.
first power, Taishuan Eminence.
Touch on eminence, you remember that, right?
Second Herrscher, and cut off
From
her
the
connection
cutscene.
with the will of Honkai,
So the connection was cut.
creating an
So
opening for humanity to turn the tables.
Oh man, no
Fighting this
internet?
war
Come
cost
on.
Fuhua her memories and most of her power. Over a decade later, Fuhua enrolled at St. Freya as an undercover agent.
Wow.
She became the class monitor of Kiana's class to surveil the activity of the Herrscher
Man,
of
I
the
was
Void
dreamed
inside
of being
Kiana.
my class monitor.
Although she approached Kiana and her
Yeah,
friends
you
with
know
an
the
ulterior
story.
motive, she regained long-lost friendships and bonds in a campus life full of joy and laughters. She carried out Otto's
Joy.
orders while secretly helping out Kiana and her friends to protect an addictive yet fragile balance of fate. However, the mission of eliminating Honkai ultimately made her side with the other end. She took away Kiana and
So
helped
she was
Otto
gonna do
rouse the Herrscher.
Kiana to him.
Little did she know that Otto did not play by the contract. He only roused the
Obviously, he's
Herrscher
a
for his
villain.
selfish desires, not to protect others.
Yeah, no,
To keep Fuhua
no way,
out of his
Shadow.
plan, he shot
See, that's where the shot came
To
from.
stop Otto's
He
plan,
shot the head.
Fuhua activated Feng Huang Dao's 0th power before dying to transfer her sentience partially into the feathers and bind her sentience with Kiana's soul.
Now we know
Feng Huang
how
Dao,
eyes they were
which wore
talking in
Fuhua's
mind.
sentience, led Himiko to the power that could confront the Herrscher of the Void.
So she was pretty much talking to them inside of their head.
Energy inside Kiana.
Mhm.
That's the
When
serum.
Bronya was
if you
trapped
remember.
in Grey's Serpent's
Oh.
mind labyrinth, Feng Huang Dao appeared in time to help her escape.
Same here.
After the Hersher of the Void begot a Honkai eruption, Kiana sunk into self-blame and loss.
Mikasa.
It was Fuha's sentience that supported her and taught her how to harness the Hersher power. At last, to protect Kiana, Fuha's sentience burned herself out
last,
in
to
the battle
protect
against
Eren.
Kevin and fell into
Kevin.
a slumber. However,
That's
that
a dude.
was not the end of her story. After the Schicksal battle, Otto repaired her body, only to revive a Fuhua that was not the fighter who
How
upheld
did you
her mission
repair it,
above all
Doctor?
else.
What,
Just
what
get-
did
her
you
own
do?
desires. She had the looks of Fuhua, but uttered
Hey,
frivolous,
yo.
arrogant, and impetuous words.
So that's a
Oh.
She
Hersher.
had the memories of Fuhua, but could not understand the motives underpinning them. She loathed Honkai as much as Fuhua, but she was no different from Honkai in action. Purely driven by a desire for destruction, she destroyed. She killed Otto's clone and demolished half of Schicksal's headquarters. To vent her desire for destruction,
See, this is
fought
the
Durandal
trailer.
and Kevin to trick Fuhua's sentience in Funhuan down into submitting to her. She varnished over her motive time and again. To win the trust of Kiana and Bronya,
Ooh,
she lured
juicy.
them into her memories to elicit their sympathy. In the end, she was not Fuhua, but the 8th Hersher born from her memories. Perhaps to the 8th Hersher, this story that perpetuated itself for 50,000 years is an elaborated, pitiable tragedy. The Fuhua that constrained herself and lived solely for her mission was nothing but a failure.
You are
She wanted to become a
failure.
better Fuhua. Perhaps
That's
the
what
girl
they thought.
bathing
You
in
know
the
your
sun on the grass
cousin,
50,000 years ago
He made
would have
a
had the
business
same
when he
idea
was
had she
9
had
years
learned the
old,
story of
and
her
you
life.
22.
It is a life that
To
has seen
get
too many
you.
betrayals, lies, and
I
sacrifices.
used to walk down
Sacrifices, okay?
UK,
It is also a life that
US,
shaped Fuhua
and back
into the
to
remarkable
China
fighter
for
that her friends
school.
believe in
Okay,
and rely
enough.
upon. What does the future have in store? for
Future,
her?
okay.
Yeah, I ain't gonna
We will
stop
find out
until you
together.
finish page 1 to 1 million.
So that's, I hope that was a lot of information. I hope you understood. So guys, if you also understood, if you didn't understand it, you can let me know in the comments. I can explain you.
Yeah,
That's
we
what we're
can
gonna
like
do
do
here.
it in the next part.